Right, I thought we'd put a bit of gold on this now. And here I've got some gold fluid, golden fluid acrylic. And I've got a little jelly plate. I could have used the bigger one that I had, but for filming purposes, I thought I would just use a little one so it doesn't take up the entire table. And then I'm just rolling that out slightly. Let's put that aside. Okay, and then here I've got a stamp that says Merry Christmas in Swedish. And I'm going to use that. Now, I think I'm just going to straighten it up a little bit so that it's exactly straight when I put it down. There we go, okay. And now I'm just going to lift some paint off here now. I'm going to press it down a bit so that I've got paint all over. And I think that looks okay. Right, and then I'll just bring that slightly closer, and then I'm going to put it there, and I'm just hoping that it'll be in the right place. Right, so I'm just going to press that down. Now, if it should be that it's not a good print, I can always, first of all, wipe it off quickly if I wanted to, but I can also fill it in a little bit more. There we are. That's not bad. Don't need really more than that. That says Merry Christmas, God Jul. So I think that's nice. I like that. Now I've got some paint here on this thing here, and I'm just going to pick some up with my little bamboo stick, and I'm just going to do some tiny little dots just here and there. Can't try using that end. Just to add a bit of gold. And a little bit more. Just pick it up and then put it down. I think gold makes all the difference on a Christmas card. Gold and also white snow is also quite nice to put on a Christmas card, I always think. I think I'm putting this where you can't see it, I'm sorry. There we go. I think it's quite nice when you put it on everything, not just the paper stuff, but also the ribbons. Should we see if we can put some on the, there we go, on the velvet ribbon up there. Now just pick that up so we can see what that looks like. Possibly a little bit more over here. It's a bit empty here, isn't it? There we go. There. Okay, right, so there we've got a bit of gold on it. I think that's enough for that. Now, the next step is I'm going to make the corners rounded, and then I'm going to also sew it onto the back, or rather a piece of backing paper, which is just another card, a similar card. So I'll do that, then it'll look a bit more like this one. Here I, for example, had a card, so it's slightly thicker. but it gives it a nice finish. And I actually quite like these rounded corners. I have actually like a machine that does it, but you could do it just with scissors if you don't have scissors. And it's the same with the text. If you don't have a stamp, then you could actually use, you could just use a gold pen and write Merry Christmas or something. There are lots of different ways to do it, but there's number one. I'll go and sew it and then I'll show you the rest. Okay, here I'm just going to show you, I've sewn all around the edge now, so that this has got a backing paper on it. And now I'm just going to cut off these little corners. I'm going to round off the corners. And I have a machine that does it like this, or a tool, perhaps I should say, not a machine. So I'm going to use that. However, if you don't have one of these, then you could just use a pair of scissors and literally just cut round the edge. So let's do that one as well. Okay, there we go. Right, so there we have that. Now, I just wanted to show you one last thing. Here I've got some, it's actually by Sennelier, but I've got something that's called a 3D liner. Basically, it's acrylic paint, which you squirt through a nozzle like this to make 3D dots. I can show you like this. Let's do this. We have to, first of all, my hand's going to shake to get it out, but you can do 3D dots that look like that. I lift that up so that you can see. Now, if I don't want them to be quite as spiky as that, I think I could just dull them down slightly. Okay, so you can do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to raise up the text slightly that I drew earlier, and because I'm left-handed, I'm starting at the end, and I'm just going to go over that. Oops. Just to make it slightly raised up. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this and hold it up in the air at the same time so you can see it. So I think I'm going to put it down and do it, because otherwise I'm going to have a shaky hand. Okay, let's see now then. There. A bit blobby. No, I think I'll do that line first. And then this one. Join them together. Not so beautiful, but I'm not very good at keeping this in the right place so that you can see it. Oops. And this is quite a thick line. There. Okay. Now, at the moment, that looks a bit milky, but it's only because it's got a white, what's it called? It's got white medium in it, because it's which is milky when it's wet, but then it will dry clear, and then it will be much more goldy, not quite so opaque looking. So there we have it there. So that's my card. So I'm hoping that you will have a go and do something similar if you fancy it. So that's all from me. Now I'll take a few close-ups so you can see some close-ups. Right, I thought we could try another one now in slightly different colours. So I thought I would choose this one, which is called The Night Before Christmas. And I'm just going to start as I did the last one and just cut the edge off there. And then we'll rip it again. And if you remember, I ripped it by doing this. Now, I don't want to take too much of the top off here. So be a bit careful. There we go. And then down here. And then that one. And then there. Chuck those bits away. So now we've got that. Okay. So then we have to decide what are we going to have it on for a background. Now here I've got 250 gram white card, and here I've got 250 gram beige card, and I actually prefer the beige. I think I prefer that look. And then I'm going to be adding some of my jelly prints and the ledger paper. We're going to use the same technique that we used before, just different colourings. So I think I'll move that card aside, and I think we'll stick to that. And then let's see. Here are some of my stickers that I printed. Those are quite nice. I could always use a bit of a sticker. I could use, say, that one that doesn't have a lot of red in it, because this picture doesn't really have much red. It's got a little bit of sort of rusty red there, but not a lot. So I'll keep that. And then let's see what looks nice. I think I quite like that bit. Let's just see what happens when I take a bit of that. That could be quite nice. Then let's see what else we have. I've got this one that's got a little bit of turquoise on it there. There is a bit of red, but I don't think that matters. I can rip a bit of the red off, so there's not too much. Just do that, and then have that somewhere, perhaps. And then, actually, just for fun, I thought I'd show you. This is part of an old watercolour that I did. I mean, years ago. We're talking like early 2000. And I don't like it, but it's quite good quality paper, so I haven't thrown it away. But I was thinking I could rip a bit and use a bit, because the colours are very similar. Possibly use a little bit of this somewhere. Possibly not the bit with the brown, but what's the green like? Bit sharp. What about here? This sort of area is quite fun. So again, I'm just going to rip off a bit like that. I've got the white edge there, but I don't think it really matters. So that could be used as well as to make something slightly different, like that. And then I've got my sticker. And then we need some ribbons, don't we? Now, I think definitely this colour, definitely. So we'll cut a piece of that. And I've also got a sort of grey silvery colour in a similar sort of ribbon. So I think I'm going to cut a piece of that as well. We'll see where we put those. What else do I have? I've even got this sort of goldy one. So I could always use a little bit of this. Let's see where the end of that is. And we shall see there. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that there. So I've got those. Now let's go over to this sari ribbon. Let's stick to the colour scheme there. So I'm wanting probably greens, turquoisey greens. And we need to sort of look and see if there are any patterns in any of these. Some lovely bits for future projects here. Let us see what we can find. There's quite a bit of purple in with it. How's that? That's quite nice. think I'll just chop that bit off then, and then I'll go and iron it. What else do we have? Actually, maybe a bit of that would be quite nice, because if you look at the picture, there is a bit of light green, and there appears to be a bit of red in this, which might be nice. Shall I or shan't I? Possibly not. Possibly not. It looked a bit sharp. What's this one like then? This is more green, but that's a bit like the one we've already got. What about, I think I'll take this one. Just take a bit and see what that looks like. That could be quite nice. Right, okay. So we've got those. That was the bit from the other that I had, which goes quite well with that, doesn't it? In fact. Question is, shall I use that or not? We'll see. That was definitely a bit too sharp. But maybe there's a bit in here that would work. Perhaps there's a bit here that I could use. I quite like one with some pattern on it, a bit like I had on the other one. Look, there's a bit of turquoise there. That could be nice, and that's got a knot on it as well, which makes it always more interesting. So let's take that bit, and I'll just go and iron those, and then we'll start to put them together. I've also got this little bit of ledger paper which I can use as well. So I've got several bits. Okay, I'll go and iron some things now, and then we'll see what we do with those. Right, I'm back, and I've ironed my little bits of sari ribbon, so you can see what they look like. There. So let's have a little look now and see where we're going to place these bits. And we have to do a bit of auditioning first so that it feels right. I like to sort of move stuff around and just see what we get. And then we've got this little bit here. Use that as well. And that might be quite nice, just along the edge, like that perhaps. And then I've got my sticker here. What should we do with this then? Okay, get sticking. So here we've got the middle bit here. So I'll just do a bit of a blob there, so that can stay in the middle. Then I think we'll do some here and just pop that down as well. There. Then this bit. And like the other one, I'm going to be sewing, so I just need to literally sort of tack them down. It doesn't matter. That one I think I'm going to put over the top. So it's a bit more over the top like that. And then I have my sticker here. Now this one, all I have to do is just peel it off. And then the question is, I think I want his pillow there, so we'll put that there instead, behind that. And now we've got this little bit here, haven't we? Which, I was wondering if what that would look like, just sort of sewn on there. I quite like that. Even if it covers up a bit of that, it doesn't matter. There. Okay, so now those are those. Now let's see, what else do we need? This is quite fun. I'm thinking, oh, there's some writing on it as well. I'm thinking, what if I rip a little strip of that and put it there? Just put it across there like that. There. Right, now to the ribbons. Let's see what we have to choose from. That's very like this watercolour paper, isn't it? Colour-wise. So that might be quite nice to have going up there. I think that looks quite nice. So put a bit of glue down on the edge there, and I'll just place it down there like that. Goes rather nicely with that as well, actually. There. Then we've got this piece here. It's a bit big. I think, what's it like if I put it underneath? No. The blue bit. The blue bit. What's it like if I turn it upside down? I like to sort of try out different variations. Actually, that's quite cute. I quite like that. So, let's do that. Stick it there, stick it there. And then we've got the knot halfway down as well, which is also quite fun, isn't it? Now we have these bits of satin ribbon. No, what about that? That's just a bit. You have to just keep trying stuff out to see what happens. What's it like if I put it underneath there then? That might be nice. Is the grey better? I think it is. I think it is. Let's put the grey up here somewhere. Right, a bit of glue. And put the grey. I think I'm going to just pull that up a little bit. There. Just on the edge there. Like that. Okay. Now, does it need anything? I like this area here. I think that's looking quite nice. No, not the red. Definitely not the red. Would it be nice with a bit of... Haven't got the red, this green bit on yet. Maybe that's too much. What's it like if it goes behind there? No, I don't want it to be too much like a frame. I'm sort of avoiding the frame, and it's very framey at the moment. Maybe if I just did, if I cut these, oops, that wasn't very straight. I've got a bad pair of scissors here, into sort of squares, 3 squares, and then I put them in various spots. I think I'll do that. First of all, we'll just glue that down a bit. And then do that, and that, and that. And I just have to remember when I sew it that I sew through that, so that it, I'm just going to give that a little bit more glue, so that I sew through them so they don't fall off. So let us have a little look. I think that's quite fun. It's quite a lot going on, but I like it. Yes. Right, I shall now go and stitch it, and then I'll come back. You know how I stitch it because you saw the last one, so I won't film. I'll just go stitch it and I'll come back. And I think I may choose a slightly different thread colour. We'll have a look. Right, I've now stitched it, and I actually kept the same thread as the other one, which has a tiny bit of red in it, but it also goes over to green in certain areas, which I liked. You can see it down there as well, that it goes to green. So the next stage is actually, I'm going to do the gold, I think, first. And the question is, should I write something there in gold? Should I stamp it on like I did before? I think I will. And then I'll use these for some dots as well. So let's go back to this jelly plate thing, like that. And then we'll add a little bit more gold again. And I'm going to use it in the same way I did before. Let's use a bit of gold there and spread it out a bit. Now I could roll onto that. I think it might be better if I stuck it into the gold instead. Actually, there. And then we'll take this and we'll stamp on this. Okay, and I think I'm going to put it there this time. We'll see how that comes out. I hope it was straight. Ish. Okay, there it is. Quite light. I think we'll go on with this again, and I think I'm going to do the same thing again. This time I think I'm going to try and write it as I you see now. Let's see. At least it gives me something to go from instead of having to sketch it up myself with a pencil. The problem is having to squeeze it so hard to get the stuff out and then getting blobs. Not so nice. Oops. I'm going to have to use two hands. It's really difficult to get out otherwise. Whoops. Okay. Don't know how to do it so that you can see it properly. I'll have to go up a bit, I think. There we are. Let's try it again. Now, of course, these stamps, you're supposed to use stamping ink and embossing powder, like in the old days when we used to do scrapbooking and stuff. And I do have some embossing powder, but there are so many things for the embossing powder to get caught on with the threads and the papers and things that I didn't really want that to happen. So therefore, I've avoided it. Right, I'm just going to do some gold blobs everywhere. Excuse me, using both hands. There. Okay, right, we shall let that dry, and then I will sew another piece of card identical on the back, and then I will cut the corners. I can probably cut the corners now, and I'll cut the corners on the other one as well so that we can see how. Oh, I had the wrong end. There we are. There's that one. Be careful not to drop it. And then that one, and then that one. There we are. So I hope you can see it properly. Similar but not the same. And I didn't use a lot of red in this on purpose because, you know, sometimes you don't want traditional red on a Christmas card. It's got a bit of red here and there, and there's a little bit in the thread, but otherwise it's just sort of slightly more, maybe more modern colours, I don't know. But I like to have a variety, and I just wanted to show you really how I can use these, or how I use them, to get a nice effect. So right, that's that. And now I'm just going to go down and sew the back part to it. I'll just wait until this has dried. And then it's finished. So there we have them. So I hope you've enjoyed this and that you'll give it a go. I always like to find different ways of using my my drawings. So I actually like scanning them in and this sort of thing. So I'm hoping that you'll be able to use these downloads, or just mount them straight onto a piece of card. Like this piece of card here is just similar shape to and size to my cards. You could just mount that as well. But I think it's more fun to do something like this. So hope you've enjoyed it, and Merry Christmas.